Are you someone who has recently been contemplating the idea of going on a study abroad trip, whether with your college, your university, high school, or whatever school, but you're not sure whether or not you should actually follow through and do this study abroad? Well, today, my friends, I'm going to share with you guys my personal study abroad story, what I wish I had known, what I wish I had done differently, and I will let you guys know whether or not I would actually do another study abroad trip again. Hey guys, it's Ruby here, and welcome back to my channel. Today, like I said, I'm going to share my story, and I hope that my personal story can be of service to you, and maybe you guys can get some tips out of it, so you guys are more smart about doing study abroad and don't have the same horrible experience that I had, because I had a terrible experience doing my first study abroad. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a while, so if you haven't, go get a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever it is you drink, and let's jump into the story time. When I was 19, so actually let me go a little back. When I was 17, just so you guys can see the power of manifestation. When I was 17, 16 or 17, I wanted to learn Italian, but I didn't see how I could actually learn Italian on my own. So I kind of just gave up, but I did have this desire that I wanted to travel to Italy. And of course, at 19, the opportunity came up. I saw that there was an opportunity to study abroad with my community college, and I was like, all right, I gotta do this. Like, it's my dream. I want to go to Italy. So I jumped on that, and I went to these class meetings and all that stuff. I didn't know anyone there, but it seemed like everyone there kind of knew at least someone or a group of people there. And I was kind of like the only loner there. So I was kind of like, and yeah, I should have probably taken that as my first hint of maybe should I actually go through with this. But anyways, I was like, well, I'll meet people, so it'll be fine. So the time came when it was time to actually go to Italy. But the night before, I kid you not, I had a dream that my experience was a horrible one. And I woke up very anxious and nervous, and I was like, is this like a sign that maybe I shouldn't go to Italy? Should I not follow through with this? And I told my mom about it, and she was just like,
maybe you shouldn't do it, it's okay, it's okay if the money is lost, it doesn't matter.
And I was like, no, we paid for it, so I'm going, I really want to go, so it's happening. So I went, and of course it was so hard having to say goodbye to my family. I stayed strong, but then when I got to Italy, it was like 1 in the morning or something, and I started crying because I missed my family and all that. But anyways, yeah, it was hard, and I was kind of nervous, but I did my best to be an optimist and did my best to socialize, and that was that. But yeah, then we got to Italy. I went to my hotel room with the girls I was gonna room with, and I don't know where they went, but I kind of just got left alone there, and I was like, oh, okay, But anyways, we're there, and it kind of sucked because the first class that we had was literally that morning, and everyone was just tired, just some people actually did fall asleep in the class, which is pretty funny. But anyways, we're there, and I kind of connected with some girls, and we would go out and look around Italy, explore and all that stuff, go buy gelato and all that, and it was going pretty good. But then things started happening. My third day in Italy, when we're on the bus going to, it was study abroad, so we're going to a lot of museums, but it was so awesome, because especially in Italy, there's so much to see, and it was so beautiful. But yeah, my third day there, I was on the bus, and I kept on pulling out my phone, because they tell you, when you go to European countries, have one of those little front pouches, that you have hanging around your neck. Put your important valuables there, because if you leave it in your pocket, you will get pickpocketed. There are gypsies. They will freaking take your shit. And because I kept on pulling out my phone to take a picture, by the way, this was a new iPhone 6S at the time. It was the new phone. And I was like, what? I'm gonna just put it in my pocket because I keep on pulling it out. I want to take pictures. Mistake number one. I put it in my pocket, and the bus was full, and sure enough, someone pickpocketed me. I took my phone my third day in Italy, and I was like, No, and the worst thing is like if you've ever read The Alchemist.
You know that moment where Santiago, he like gives his money to a stranger, and then like he just like he's looking at like this beautiful sword, and then like just doesn't look at the person, and then like he doesn't want to turn around because he's like afraid like, oh my god, this person left with my money.
Like that was kind of me because I kind of felt something. I was like, oh my god, someone took my phone. Because like honestly, when it comes to materialistic things, I'm not gonna fight for it because it's like it's that or my life. You never know what a person is like capable of doing, right? So I was kind of like, please tell me this didn't just happen. And then like I check and I'm like, oh fucking A. I'm sorry I'm cursing, but honestly, that's just how I felt. And I got like, you know, we went to the museum and all that. And then like we went back to our hotel room and I was just like, I started crying because I felt terrible. It was a gift that my parents had given me. And I just felt so guilty, you know? And thankfully I had my laptop so I could still FaceTime with my family and all that. But I felt so guilty. Like that was already like one of the worst things that happened. And it was even like a week that I had been there, literally my third day. But anyways, that was that. And then I was kind of just like, you know, school, exploring and all that. And again, I kind of like started hanging out like with some of these girls in my hotel room that I had roomed with. And I don't remember if it was like a week or second week, but I remember I was like with two of the girls that I was rooming with. And like, okay, I should have said this trigger warning. If you're someone who's like going through like depression or eating disorders, stop watching now because this may be triggering. I should have said it in the beginning, but yeah, I just don't want anyone to be triggered. And if you're someone who really is struggling, please reach out for help because it's horrible and you shouldn't have to deal with it alone. And you're not alone, okay? But yeah, as I was saying, at the time, I was like really dealing with like depression and eating disorders. So I hadn't really eaten well that day. And I was with these girls and I don't remember what we were doing. Honestly, I was 19, I'm 26. There's so much I really don't remember from then. But we were like, I don't know what they were doing, but it got to the point that because I hadn't eaten, I was just very starved and tired. And I was like, okay, I need to eat something. But they're kind of like taking their time and doing their own thing. And it got to the point where I reacted hangry, which is never a pretty thing. And I could just see in their face how like they kind of were very offended. And I get it because it's like, bitch, like what the fuck is wrong with you, you know? But it's like, I'm sorry, I'm just like dealing with my shit. Of course they didn't know that, but I was dealing with like my personal problems. And then, you know, we went to eat and it was just quiet and awkward and, you know, I felt bad, but, and of course it's not an excuse for my actions, but that's why I remember seeing this quote. I see it so often that be kind to everyone because you don't know what battle like people are going through, like what battles they're enduring. And that's a true testament to that because like after that, they just became very distant. They stopped like hanging out with me. And I felt really bad because, you know, I didn't know anyone. I was really doing my best to connect with people, but I didn't because the worst thing is like everyone in that group they're kind of like the party type of people, like going out, drinking, smoking. That's not really my personal scene. And I'm not saying everyone, but big chunk of them, if not everyone, was into that scene. And that's just not me. Like even now you tell me, hey, let's go party. I'm the type who will be like, I'm more into like reading or like Netflix and chill, you know what I mean? So I felt really bad that I was alone most of the time. And it was really difficult because like I said, I was dealing with depression and I felt really sad and alone a lot of the times. Like I remember this one time, like we were going to like, I guess like a flea market and everyone just like paired up and I was like the only one left. And it's like, it's the worst thing when you're like alone and no one wants to pair up with you, you know? But thankfully there's like some older ladies, like, you know, the older kind ladies that were very nice to me. I'm very grateful. And that's probably why I love older people because they're just kind and they have so much life experience and it's probably why they're kind to you because they know what's up. But yeah, and there's like this particular lady, she was super nice to me and she like, you know, she paired up with me and we're just like walking around and just like looking through the flea market and all that. But yeah, it was hard to be alone and have people in my age group not want to hang out with me. And I wasn't like a bitch or anything. That was probably the only time I did have an outburst because I was starved. I'm sorry, you know? But that happened and it was just a horrible experience, you guys. Like, I remember before that had happened, me and those girls that like stopped hanging out with me, we had actually booked a room together at a hotel in Venice, but by the time we went to Venice, they ended up booking their own room and they left me alone in that hotel room. So I was literally alone, okay? And that was the worst thing ever. Like, I remember being in Venice, and although like some people were starting to like open up and be a little more kind to me, which was very nice, I remember that at night I walked out of my room and I went to like outside the like streets of Venice, because it's not really like a street, you know, like everything's by boat there. But I went out and I was crying, you know, I was alone, I was crying, and I just really hated myself in my life at that point because I felt so alone and like I didn't matter. It was the worst feeling in the world, and I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, not even like my worst enemy. I don't have enemies. I send love to all my enemies or whatever, you know, because I wish everyone the best, you know. Um, which is why like I'm sharing this story, but of course I hold no anger or resentment towards any of these people because it's just like it's what happened, you know, and it is what it is, right? But I was super sad, and you know, just to show you guys how sad I was, like even before the Venice thing happened, when we were in like our hotel room, like I really didn't fit in with this group. Okay, so there was this one night in the hotel room when they were doing, and this this story is so out of order, you guys, but I'm just doing my best to remember like I guess the big scenes that happened while I was over there, and like just like share with you guys my personal experience so you guys can learn from it and not have to go through the same shit. But yeah, when we were in Rome, the hotel we were staying at, they're having a wine tasting. Eesh. Honestly, some of this stuff I can actually look back on and laugh because it's like, wow, Ruby, you're such a dumbass. But you know, you're young, you go through shit, you experiment. Anyways, there was a wine tasting, and that day I was just like, you know what? Because that's just how sad and depressed I was feeling. I was like, I'm just gonna get fucked up. I don't care. Like that, and I know, looking back, it's so stupid. But when you're young, especially, like, you're still lost. You're trying to figure out who you are. It's like, you kind of like, at times may fall into these pressures. And that's why I'm sharing this, because this is like one of those cautionary tales of don't fall into the pressure of having to do anything you don't want to do, because honestly, it's not worth it. And you may make a dumbass out of yourself, but I can, like I said, I can look back and laugh now. But the night came and I drank red wine, I drank white wine, I kept on drinking. Just so you guys know, I don't drink. I don't like to drink. I can't tell you the times that I've actually like done my best to try alcohol, but I don't like it. I don't like the bitter taste. But that day, that night, I was just like, and of course I got buzzed because I was a lightweight. I got actually drunk, and you know, I was with the people, and I'm a happy drunk, by the way. So when they're like just talking, I was just like, like I just kept on laughing, and they're just like, what the hell? Like, what the fuck is wrong with this crazy bitch, you know? And I kept on laughing, and I started crying because from the point of laughing, I just started crying out of the laughter. And yeah, me pasé de verga, basically. And I had to have like 2 guys carry me back to my hotel room because that's just how fucked up I got, you guys. And yeah, like I said, cautionary tale, don't do anything you don't feel like doing, that you don't like, because it's not worth it. I was so close to smoking, and I don't smoke, never have smoked. If you do, you know, that's your choice, but I don't, especially because I'm a singer. But I was so close to like smoking, but then it occurred to me like, why the hell am I gonna do this? Like, not only am I gonna like mess up my voice, but it's so bad for you, for your lungs, and it ages you. Like, I don't need that, you know? I don't need any more problems, especially with all the problems I was dealing at the time. So I'm so thankful that I was so like mentally strong to at least not smoke, right? But yeah, that happened. I got drunk, but you know, just the very fact that I was like, I'm gonna get fucked up, big red flag. And that's like, I'm sharing that because I'm not trying to like laugh at myself, but it's really just sharing this experience. So if you're someone who's like planning to do it, but you're like study abroad, but you're not into that, don't fall into the pressure of having to do it, you know? Like, of course, if you want to experiment, you're welcome to, but don't feel like you have to do it, right? Like I said, the story's kind of like everywhere. But anyways, yeah, the following night I did get drunk again, but I was in my hotel room. Like I said, I was depressed, you know? Don't cope through these vices or any form of unhealthy like outlets, you know, because that's just so bad for you and it only makes you feel worse, right? But yeah, I drank a whole bottle of wine. And at the time, I did have this friend that I had met online who lived in Spain. And I Skyped with her that night while I was drunk. I'm like, hey, like, should I just buy a ticket and go to you like this week? And she was like, I don't know, like, yeah, if you want to, why not? And I was like, haha, fuck it, I'm gonna get a ticket. So I got the ticket. And then like the following morning, I'm like, what the hell did I do? Like, yes, she was a nice girl, but like, you know, you hear these stories, right, of things that happen to people. And I was like, what if she's a bad person? What if something happens to me? But thankfully nothing bad happened to me because I'm still here. I'm telling the story. She was super nice. Her family was super kind and welcoming. I stayed in her home for like 3 days. But yeah, even when I was there though, I was very depressed. I just remember walking the streets of Barcelona at night, feeling so depressed, so alone. So anyways, like I obviously don't remember every single detail of the trip, just mostly the big ones that had like, I guess, a big impact or a big imprint in my memory. And I'm sharing this because like I said, I want to share my experience so you guys like, you know, can like learn from them and not have to go through that. And I guess like to put it short, like wrap it up, would I personally do study abroad again? Probably not. Like I love Italy and I'm so grateful that I did go because that's where I was actually inspired to start like language learning. Like I'd always wanted like to learn a language and never actually took action until I went to Italy and like met people who actually spoke multiple languages and inspired me to actually want to start, right? But and the food is delicious too. But would I do study abroad? Probably not. Why? Well, first of all, if I were to do study abroad, I'd first of all make sure that I am with at least some people that I already know that I am good friends with, because I think my first mistake was certainly going with a group of people I did not know at all, which sucks because like, of course, this isn't going to be everyone's experience. You can be someone who goes with a group of people you don't know and you make great connections, right? But for me, it wasn't the case. Like they didn't connect with these people because like they weren't my type of people that like I would personally surround myself with, right? It's nothing about like who they are, the type of people they are. It's just me. Like I'm different, right? And also, just like with the state of mind I was in, like of course such trips can be helpful, but again, if you're not with people you know, it's kind of like playing Russian roulette. Like you don't really know what you're gonna get out of it. But I'd be sure for sure, like definitely, if I do study abroad, go with people that I know. But I personally feel like at this point in my life, I would just want to go alone because even though like, you know, everything's planned, you don't have to worry about like hotels and like where you're gonna go and all that. I personally go alone because I don't like the commitment of having to go to classes and turn in assignments too. So I would just travel alone. And yeah, I guess my advice would be it's really up to you what you decide to do. Like maybe you want to gain that experience of studying abroad with new people you don't know, and you can certainly go for it. I personally just wouldn't do it. Also, don't fall into the pressures of having to do anything you don't want to do. Stay true to yourself. It's okay to like experiment, but if you know it's something that's gonna hurt you, it's better you just don't do it, honestly. But yeah, that's kind of my story. I feel like I was all over the place, but like I said, these are like the things that really did stand out to me from the trip, which is unfortunate, but of course it did not like define like how I feel about Italy itself, because Italy is a beautiful place and I'm going to Europe next summer, and Italy is certainly a place that I'd love to go back to. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something and found value in this story time. I really just want to share my experiences in hopes that you guys are able to learn from them so you don't make the same mistakes that I made. And yeah, so if you guys ended up liking this video and would like to see more storytime videos, although I don't really know if I have many interesting stories left, please let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for more upcoming videos each week. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next one.